Good morning to Doctor and my viewers. My name is THENG. I'm from Faculty of Science and the Chemistry Department. In this presentation, I will talk about how artificial photosynthesis can be done, how does it make use of the environment without creating waste, and I will propose an application of artificial photosynthesis. Let's start by the definition of photosynthesis. Photo means light and synthesis means to make something. So literally, photosynthesis means to make something using light energy. As a well-known fact, photosynthesis is a natural biological process that happens in plants. The pigments called chlorophyll in the leaves, they absorb the sunlight radiation and it will turn surrounding carbon dioxide gas, water, into producing glucose and also releasing oxygen gas to the surrounding. Chlorophyll is a green colored pigment. It appears green because it absorbs most blue and red light, reflecting the remaining green lights into our eyes. Since most green light are reflected, that means a huge part of the light energy is wasted and they are not absorbed during photosynthesis. That is one of the main reasons photosynthesis is said to be not so efficient. According to the FAO, the efficiency of photosynthesis in a plant is only about 3 to 6% of total solar radiation. Besides, efficiency of photosynthesis also depends on many environmental factors such as the concentration of carbon dioxide and the sunlight intensity. Therefore, scientists tried to do photosynthesis process without plants. One of the materials being researched and used are called the metal organic framework, simplified as MOF. The MOF, they consist of organic ligands or called linkers and also inorganic ions. The organic ligands typically consist of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen atoms, while the inorganic ions are metal ions, typically metal with large atomic size, for example, zirconium. Here are more metal organic frameworks. Each MOF has their unique uses in catalysis, that is, speeding up reactions or allowing certain reactions to happen more easily. Then scientists take this opportunity. Since MOFs contain metal ions, scientists realized that they can apply some quantum mechanics here. They found out that shining light radiation onto the material will excite electrons and result in an electron transfer. Exciting electrons means to increase the energy in electrons. The process of electron transfer is what the chlorophyll does. In plants, the production of sugar can be summarized in two main steps called light-dependent reaction and Calvin cycle, also known as light-independent reaction. When the chlorophyll absorbs light energy, it excites an electron, and then this electron is said to be accepted by a primary acceptor. This electron is then passed through a series of special protein structures and to be accepted by another chlorophyll in another photosystem. This electron is then excited again by light energy and passed through another series of proteins and finally accepted by a special molecule called NADP+. This NADP+ turns into NADPH and is used in Calvin cycle to produce sugar. So MOFs have similar properties. Then people think, why can't we use these MOFs to pass electrons to certain substances to carry out reduction processes? A reduction means a substance accepts electrons and it may form another substance. Researchers found out that using certain MOFs with sufficient radiation, electrons can be used to reduce carbon dioxide and water molecules and form substances like hydrogen and oxygen gases, carbon monoxide, methane, methanol, and probably some other ions. As you can see here, the MOF absorbs light energy, and this will excite the electrons in that system, and this electron is passed into our reactor molecules like water and carbon dioxide to produce various kind of products which are more useful because we have been exploiting the light energy in the surroundings. Using this artificial photosynthesis technology, humans are able to advance in many sectors such as industry, aerospace, and agriculture. In the industry, greenhouse gases are often emitted as waste. Examples such as carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and dinitrogen monoxide. So, the artificial photosynthesis is able to reduce the emission of these greenhouse gases. Also, since some kind of fuel is formed, it can be further processed to be used in aerospace field. Last but not least, artificial photosynthesis may also produce plant fertilizers that has carbon-based nutrients. This is due to the fact that plants require macronutrients and micronutrients to grow. One of the macronutrients is carbon and is the most crucial in the growth of plants. Thus, artificial photosynthesis is able to help with producing certain plant fertilizers in order to obtain higher yields of crops, increasing the overall quality of crops, and also the food production sector. Lastly, I would like to show my proposal involving the artificial photosynthesis. I call this device a biomimetic methane production device. I took idea from the phototropism phenomenon in sunflowers. This device mimics the shape of a sunflower, and the big panel here is coated with the MOF layer. This device will follow the sun direction for maximum sunlight. The MOF layer functions to absorb and collect atmospheric carbon dioxide to produce methane. Looking at the second picture here, it shows how the working principle of this device. The sunlight shines onto the layer coated with MOF and absorbs carbon dioxide and water from the surroundings, and reaction happens to produce methane, oxygen, and many other gases to be stored in the canister, while the joint being freely rotatable to obtain maximum sunlight. And lastly, let's mention the feasibility of the proposal. The cost will be high as of now because of the expensive research and productions of the MOFs required. In addition, MOFs often require some protection layer. The protection layer is made of sacrificial photosensitizer or a co-catalyst that also increases the rate of reaction. The scalability of the proposed product is very high because it can be scaled down into a household scale natural gas producer, as methane is the major component of cooking gas. The environmental impact from this device is low to none. And lastly, the efficiency is variable. This is because the efficiency of this device is still dependent on environmental conditions that we cannot control, like carbon dioxide concentration and also light intensity. But overall, this product works like artificial sunflower, I say. The conclusion: usage of MOFs is one of the methods of artificial photosynthesis. They are used in industrial, aerospace, and agriculture fields, and that device mentioned earlier is a potential application of artificial photosynthesis. Here are a list of references in research making of this slide and this presentation. Thank you for your attention. Have a good day.